Hi, Alpha Omega Mom. And this has been on my mind, and I wanted to. Yeah, I'm called Alpha Omega Mom because it's actually Greek for A to Z, basically, right? The beginning, the first and last. And I'm a Christian mom, and it hasn't, I'm definitely not the first and last, but it's just because want to use this channel to talk about a lot of different things, not just decorating or cooking or anything like that. But I wanted to talk today about my journey, a little bit about myself, and my journey into becoming a homeschool mom. And so, I don't know exactly. I mean, I'm going to have to just say that it was just my calling to do that. But when my husband and I first got married, neither one of us wanted to have, were that anxious to hurry up and have children. I've never been a very maternal type of a person, but so we decided, we really weren't deciding to have any kids. We were just going to just keep going on. And by the time I decided to have kids, I should say that God just changed my heart to desire to do that. I was 43 years old. Actually, I was 40 going on 41. And my husband and I decided to try to have kids. And even though, on the outside I seemed healthy, my body and was not going to, couldn't get pregnant. So my husband is adopted, and so that process went pretty quick. As far as it took us a matter of a month to decide that we were going to be, we wanted to be parents, and so we decided that we would adopt, and so we started that journey to get certified, and didn't take really that long, filling out the paperwork, and we went through a Christian agency here in Arizona. And I was worried because by that time I was close to 43, and I thought, who's going to want someone that old? But God, in his faithfulness and his providence, had the perfect mom for us planned already. And so once our adoption certification was through, which took quite a few months, we were approved by July, and by August, our letter was presented to an adoptive mom, and she chose us. And so then we met with her, and we both were just, I mean, I know I love her, but we were, a good fit for each other, and she wanted us to, be her baby's parents. So anyway, so we ended up through that process, if you have an adoption story, I know you probably have just wonderful things to say about just how amazing things go into place. And we have similar, I mean, just crazy, amazing stories of uh, things that happened through the adoption process for both of our girls. Because so we adopted her. I was 43 by the time we uh, had her in our home. I was 43, and then the second daughter, which was still another amazing story, we had her when I was 45. And so I don't know if it's because I was an older mom. I think I would have done it as a younger mom too, but and even my attitudes and my personality. But the neighborhood that my husband and I had purchased into had we had across the street from us, we had two moms who homeschooled, and I thought their kids were just so amazing. As far as I just seems like most kids don't have like a lot of conversation with adults, and not that only homeschool kids do that, but these kids were very engaged to have conversation with me, and I thought, it just seemed like it was more excessive than other kids who were homeschooled, and I just felt like, wow, they are very social, and willing, and so I was impressed by that. And then, so eventually, when we decided to have kids, I just knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to homeschool. So my journey into homeschooling was never like going, oh, I can't do it or anything like that. I think partially because I worked until I was 43, so I think partially it could have been my age, could have been my personality, that I just was like, no, I've always assumed that I could learn ahead of my child, And I have a college degree. Uh, I just did average, and my grades were average in school, which I realize now, didn't doesn't mean someone's, not uh, smart or anything else, right? So, anyways, so I always knew I could be smarter than a first grader or a second grader, right? If you just learn along with them is what ends up happening. So, um, yeah, my journey to start that was just, I'll figure it out as I go along, and God will provide, and He really provides. You just be obedient and faithful to what God's calling you to do, and you can't you can't really mess up. uh, I there are so many resources out there for people. I mean, even if you don't want to be as hands-on, there's video things, video programs uh, that you can sign your children up to be. And when they're young, it doesn't take hardly anything, And so, uh, the statistics are out there how well homeschool parents, homeschool students do. So, they're not doing um, 8 hours or 5 hours, however many hours of school that your first grader is in. It doesn't take that many hours a day. I mean, you could probably do it a great job within an hour, and that's broken up through the whole day. So I guess in the future, this is just kind of my intro to my journey to homeschooling, and I thought I would share some practical advice, some uh, encouraging advice, I hope, because I haven't been fearful in the journey, but and I know a lot of moms who have told me and talked to me about that. They, you know, how, is my kid going to get enough, and how's my kid going to turn out, and um, and those things. I just feel like the Lord has given me a lot of peace about those things, and I don't worry about them. And as soon as I say that, I realize that I have sometimes worried about it, because my younger daughter is actually, she has cerebral palsy, and she would be considered, um, um, I don't know, is that considered special needs? She's high functioning. She's, you know, looks normal. She doesn't have, it's not severe as far as the physical exterior aspect of it. She has speech problems, really hard for her to memorize. It affects her whole right side of her body, so her right hand doesn't function normal, and her right leg doesn't function normal. But you have to really be noticing and watching her to be able to tell that there's any difference at all. So she presented a lot of trusting the Lord in the journey, uh, and still can, because our minds want to go on that scary path of, am I giving her enough, and have I supplied for her all the needs and all these things. And so I'll talk a little bit about how even my journey with her, and she was in pre-K, what do they call it, whatever, pre-K. She went to the public school, and they had developmental preschool. That's what it was, developmental preschool. And she was considered severe in a lot of ways as far as speech and language and reading and all that. And you meet with all the experts. I'm going to go experts, right? And they may be experts somewhat, because they've seen a lot of different kids like that, but I know my kid, And so I'll just share more about maybe her specific journey, and my other daughter's journey, and what I've been doing along the way. They are now 16 and 17, going to be 18 in November. So, and I'm almost done with my oldest finally. It's crazy. And so, anyways, I just want to encourage you, and I hope the story encourages you. And at some point, I'll get my notes down so I'm not so scattered as I'm trying to remember, give you the details of all the things. So, Anyways, have a blessed day.